March 6, 1853, that a group of people had a vision to reach people in this community. That vision is still very much a part of our church and all that has happened in its history. Back in 1987, when I first came here, we had a little debt. We owed some money on the youth center. We had 2 parcels across from Pastor Brad's office that we had purchased. And back in those days, because the church was an older age, it was obvious that we were going to build a senior citizens center where senior citizens could live. And shortly after I got here, I said, no, that's not going to be what we're going to do with that property. How did we inspire First Baptist to, one, go into a capital fund campaign to build this amazing 36,000 square foot facility? Well, number one, God had to change my heart, because I didn't want to do a capital fund campaign, and I didn't want to build a building. And the minute God changes the heart of the leader, that becomes an inspiring story to be able to share that with other leaders in the life of the church.
2001, we had a great vision for building a children's building on the grounds. Seeing that vision of a possible school, definitely children's ministry, seeing more young families come to know the Lord was great. And so Pastor Jim and I put our heads together and said, now how are we going to pay for it? How are we going to bring this about? And he asked me if I would be the co-director of the campaign. I said I'd be honored to do that. And so we were in charge of raising about $6.5 million of that money for that campaign.
The very first gift we got was a dime and a nickel from 2 little boys who said, "We're committed."
Didn't realize it would be such a big deal back then, huh?
Yeah, we didn't realize.
It was just a cute thing.
We didn't know
to be
about the
a part
notoriety. Yeah, we had 2 sons at the time. Daniel was about 4, and I think David was about 2. And they had made a commitment to build the children's building, and we wanted them to be a part of it as well. So we just wrote a real simple letter, and our son Daniel was able to write his name, and he attached a dime to the letter. And
we
then
had been giving an allowance of $1 a week.
Yeah, these are little kids. And then our son David, who was 2 or 3 at the time probably, and
he got 50 cents a week.
He got 50, so he gave a nickel.
So the dime and the nickel that the Hancock boys gave was the seed money, 15 cents, to build a $3 million building. 15 cents.
I started in youth ministry here in 1999. And so I had a good 5 years of doing ministry before the children's building was here on our campus. And we had a lot of space issues. Thinking back on how it was done when I was a child, meeting in the parlor and the large meeting rooms upstairs in the A building is where our Sunday school rooms were. I do remember that closets and space were always an issue. And so having experienced it as a child one way, and then being able to do children's ministry as the children's pastor in our new space and facility with a beautiful designated worship room and multi-purpose room, the XF room, and every single class has a Sunday school room. It is such a blessing. And it's not only designated space, but beautiful, modern, engaging space that is so welcoming and inviting to families and for kids to come and to know this was built especially for them. It doesn't look like an adult space that we put children's poster in. This is a kid's space. And children and families feel valued because First Baptist has been able to designate time and resources and finances and so many people our church family has given over the years to be able to tell families, we love you. This is for you. Come and worship here as a church family.
Oh, it's a fantastic place to work. I always tell people that I used to work in the Hobbit Hole. So my classroom actually had, when I was at the previous school, my classroom had a window into the sanctuary. I never even got to look outside. And so to come to work every day is a joy. The fact that we have natural lighting, the fact that it's a safe campus, the fact that we are state of the art, we can do everything that we need to do and to do it with excellence because we have such an awesome facility.
You know, for years, we've, as a staff, as a church, we've walked the grounds of the community center just praying, saying, God, when are you going to open that door? God, we claimed this property for you. And as we prayed and we prayed and we prayed, we never knew when that day would come. But I can remember the day when I got the phone call. And I get all kinds of phone calls in the office, but that day, that phone call was different. It was from a realtor. And he said, hey, are you available in the next few minutes? I'd love to come and sit down with you because the Scottish Rite, they're ready to sell. And I remember sitting down and talking with him and then afterwards saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to meet with our senior pastor. We'll have to talk with our board, talk with our congregation. There's a whole process here. And I can remember walking into Pastor Brad's office. And I remember just looking at him and telling him, hey, you never will believe it, but the Scottish Rite, they want to sell next door. And the timing of it could not have been any worse. I mean, we're in the middle of a capital fund campaign. We've been preaching, we've been living, we've been challenging. Let's get out of debt. Imagine what it would be like, the free to look forward where we have no debt at all. And yet in the middle of it, God would plant right there this new idea, this vision. He would show us that, hey, you've been praying, you've been praying, you've been praying, you've been praying, and now I'm opening that door.
You know, when we started this 2020 Free to Look Forward campaign, we had no idea that the Scottish Rite property would become available. But I'll tell you this, we never could have purchased this property if we had not stepped out in faith and started to do the campaign. And those words, free to look forward, I think are so fitting now that we were freed up to look forward. We never would have been able to purchase this property if we hadn't started that campaign. And so having that 2020 vision, having that mindset that the year 2020 is coming, where would we be at that point? Where would we be at that time? Because we made those commitments back in 2015, at the very end of 2015, started them in 2016, we were freed up to purchase this property, and now the wonderful things God is doing in our midst, we never would have imagined. So my goal is that people would say, I'm on board, that I would love to be a part of this campaign, to continue to give at the rate that I've been giving for the last 3 years to enable us to pay off that mortgage. And there might even be some new people in our church who have never heard about this campaign, but now's their opportunity to get on board as well. Because we know God has got great things in store for us. And so in this year, 2019, to be able to continue to pay off that mortgage, to pay off that debt, and then know in the year 2020 and beyond, God's going to free us up even greater ways to do ministry. I'm excited about that. I'm on board.
My name is Angel, and I'm on board.
My name is Ahime, and I'm on board.
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 I'm on board.